So you can see, scene 3, you can see by the stage directions, we are with Lady Capulet, it's Mrs. Capulet, we saw her earlier in the play, and some character named Nurse. So a nurse, not necessarily, not a hospital nurse, more like a nanny, but here we go.
Daughter, call her forth to me.
And now, by my maidenhead at 12-year-old, I'd better come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid. Where's this girl? What Juliet?
So, the nurse is a comic character, so she will often say funny, out-of-context things, non sequiturs. So when she says, now, by my maidenhead at 12 years old, I bid her come. By my maidenhead, we learned earlier, that's virginity, at 12 years old. Now, I swear, I had my virginity at 12 years old. Yeah, that's the joke. Alright, enter Juliet.
Of course, your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will? This is the matter. Nurse, give us leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel.
So she sends the nurse out to talk to her daughter, and then it's generally portrayed like she realizes she's not very good at talking to her own daughter, so she calls the nurse back in. Thou knowest, and you said the next line, thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age. You know my daughter's of a pretty age.
Thou knowest my daughter's of a pretty age.
Faith, I can tell her age into an hour.
She's not 14.
I lay 14 of my teeth. And yet to my teen it be spoken I am but 4. She's not 14.
So, she's 14. I bet 14 of my teeth. Actually, I only have 4 feet, so it's just comic relief.
How long is it now to Lammastide?
4.
So that's an old holiday. Lammastide, like people in the ancient world would use, or in the past would use holidays, and more as markers than necessarily months or things like that. And when you say a fortnight, that's just an old way of saying 2 weeks. Not a video game. Well, it is a video game, but fortnight is just 2 weeks.
Night and odd day.
No, even or odd. Of all days in the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14.
So you could see, there's one of the longest passages we've seen so far. The nurse is just going to start rambling. That's what she does. Okay, let's continue.
Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan's with God. She was too good for me, but...
So Susan, she's with God. People still use that. That's an understated way of saying she's dead. She died. Susan and Juliet were of an age. They were the same age, but she's with God now. So yeah, the nurse had a daughter in the past, but now she doesn't. It was fairly common for children to die when they were young. That's just the way of the world.
That's it. On Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14, that shall she marry. I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it, and all the days of the year upon that day.
Weaned means stopped breastfeeding, like milk. So the nurse is not just a nurse, she's what is often called a wet nurse. So wet nurse is someone that's not the mother that breastfeeds a baby. The Capulets are rich, and often rich people don't take care of their own kids. They have nannies and a staff and things like that. That's kind of always been true in history. So the wet nurse was the nurse that also breastfed Juliet. So she has a real connection to Juliet. If you see modern celebrities and like their families go out, often there's like a nanny in the background. Yeah, rich people don't take care of their kids.
I then laid wormwood to my dug, sitting in the sun under the dove-house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua.
So, my lord and you were then at Mantua, you were at a neighboring city. So while Juliet was still like breastfeeding, you were literally not even here. So what did she do? She laid wormwood to my dug. Dug is the nipple, wormwood is something bitter, and that's how they used to wean babies, by putting something bitter there, and when the babies would go for the milk, they would be grossed out and they would stop going for the milk. People still do this with dogs. They make spray that you put on the carpet to make the dog stop eating the carpet, or they make that nail polish to make people stop biting their nails. Let's continue.
I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dug and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see it touch you and fall out with a dug. Shake, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need I trow to bid me trudge, and since that time it is 11 years.
So she tells this slightly ridiculous story, and then you could say, see, by all the text, she's going to keep doing it. That's kind of her character. Let's continue. You all know someone like this, that you ask them a quick question and they just keep going.
But then she could stand high alone. Nay, by the road, she could have run and waddled all about. For even the day before she broke her brow.
So by the rood, that's by the cross. Like, I swear to God, she could have run and waddled about. So, she's a toddler now. For even the day before she broke her brow, that's a way of saying you got a bump on your head or maybe a cut on your head. You fell down and hurt your head.
And then my husband, oh, God be with his soul, and was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more weight, wilt thou not, Jewel?
So yeah, that's another dirty joke about her her ex-husband who's now deceased. Let me go through that with you. He took up the child. Dost thou fall upon thy face? Do fall upon your face. Thou wilt fall backwards. You will fall backwards on your back when thou hast more wit. Will you not, Jewel? So, you're falling on your face now, but when you're older, you'll fall on your back. In bed. Yeah, he said that to a toddler, like a crying toddler. Yes, that's exactly what happened. Let's continue.
By my holidam, the pretty wretch left crying and said, Aye. Oh, to see now how a jest shall come about. I warrant, and I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Wilt thou not, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool it stood and said, Aye.
And what makes this funnier, because baby Juliet was a toddler, she didn't know what that meant, so she just said aye, which is yes. Oh, you're falling on your face now, you're going to fall on your back when you're older, and baby Juliet's like, yeah! And you can tell, Lady Capulet says, enough of this, I pray thee, hold thy peace. Please, hold your peace, calm down, lady. And then you can see the nurse is still going to go with it, so here we go.
Enough of this, I pray thee hold thy peace.
Yes, madam. I can't just laugh to think it should leave crying and say and yet I warrant it had upon it brow a bump as big as a young cockerel's stone, a perilous knock, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face, thou wilt fall backward when thou comest to age. Wilt thou not, Jewel? He stinted and said,
So she literally told the same joke again, and she's laughing at her own joke. So yeah, that's the nurse's character. She'll show up and be kind of ridiculous. And now to Juliet.
Stint thou too, I pray thee, nurse, say aye.
Oh, peace I've done. Oh, God mark thee to his grace. Thou wast the prettiest babe that e'er I nursed, and I might live to see thee married once. I have my wish.
So the nurse naturally transitions. I missed it right here. She's punning. I pray the nurse say I. I is as in capital I. I say this, and it's pun off of AY or AYE. I as in yes, so that I of, yeah. This is a wordplay, heavy play.
That, Mary, is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
So there's another pun. Marry and marry. Yeah, it's not a big deal for us. So, hey, Juliet, how do you want to be married? And Juliet very wisely says, it is an honor that I dream not of. I don't dream of that honor.
It is an honour that I dream not of.
An honour? Were not I thine only nurse, I would say thou'd sucked wisdom from thy teat.
Oh, you got all your wisdom from me.
Well,
which is funny because she has none.
Think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
Excuse me, lady? Excuse me? Look at that. Think of marriage now. Younger than you, here in Verona, ladies of esteem, fancy ladies, rich ladies, are made already mothers, are already made mothers. Wait. Who used this bad logic before? Oh, Paris, the guy that wanted to get with Juliet. By my count, I was your mother much these years that you are now a maid. I was already you're a maid, you're a virgin now. I was already a mother I was your mother when you were this age. Wait, so you were 12, lady? That means you're like 24 now, and Juliet's 13, or maybe you're 25 or something like that. What? Ugh. Okay, is that really the way you're convincing your daughter to get married now? Do you even want that for your daughter? Do you even have a good relationship with your husband? Okay, let's continue.
A man, young lady, such a man as all the world. Why, he's a man of wax.
He's a man of wax. That's a very old idiom. He's a perfect man. It's like someone sculpted him out of wax, because wax is so easy to sculpt. You could make something very beautiful very easily with it.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, he's a flower, if ain't the very flower.
What?
And that metaphor, Verona's summer hath not such a flower. He's the most beautiful flower in all of Verona, if Verona was like a field of flowers. So yeah, he's a handsome dude. Which, sure, why not? Lady Capulet, what say you? Is the syntax there, of course.
Say you, can you love the gentleman? This night you shall behold him at our feast. Read o'er the volume of young Paris' face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. Examine every married lineament, and see how one another lends content. And what...
So, this is actually something very similar that Mr. Capulet said to Paris. This night you shall behold him at our feast. Hey, he's going to be at the party, but when Mr. Capulet said, hey, Paris, look at other girls, she's saying, at the party, look at Paris. So she's going to make some nice big metaphors about love and stuff.
Obscured in this fair volume lies, find written in the margin of his eyes. This precious book of love, this unbound lover, to beautify him only lacks a cover.
So yeah, this book of love only needs a cover, only needs something else to like complete it. It's like maybe Juliet will be the cover to their love or his beauty or something like that.
The fish lives in the sea, and 'tis much pride for fair without the fair within to hide. That book in many's eyes doth share the glory that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you share all that he doth possess, by having him, making yourself no less.
No less, nay, bigger. Women grow by men.
Anyone pick up that dirty joke? Again from the nurse? So, by having Paris, making yourself no less. You'll be no less for having Paris. You have all that he doth possess. So you'll be greater. You won't have less by marrying Paris. So she's just saying, hey, if you get married, you won't be worse off. And then nurse says, no less? You won't be less. Nay, bigger. Nay, no, you'll be bigger. Because women grow by men. She means get pregnant by them. They grow physically by them. But yeah, that's what that joke is. All right, let's continue.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris love?
I look to like, if looking liking move, but no more deep will I in dark mine eye than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam,
Yeah, I'll look, but sure, why not, Mom? But that's it.
the guests are come. Supper served up. You called. My young lady asked for. The nurse cursed in the pantry and everything in extremity. I must hence to wait. I beseech you, follow straight.
Hey, the party started. Dinner is actually already going on. You need to hurry up to the party. That Capulet party that happened earlier.
Juliet, the county stays.
go girl, seek happy nights to happy days.
Happy nights to happy days. Happy can mean fortunate, so fortunate days. Maybe you'll fall in love with Paris. Who knows? And that's the end of the scene. Let's go.